Today, historic successes in the Black community are tempered by serious challenges. In this time of struggle, there is opportunity for progress. Not since eras like Reconstruction and the Harlem Renaissance have African Americans had this kind of opportunity to change social and economic circumstances. The solutions to the issue of educational, health, and economic disparities must come from within the Black community. This was the impetus for the creation of the African American Leadership Forum. The African American Leadership Forum has gathered leaders in Minnesota, Iowa, Oregon, and Washington State to change the social and economic conditions of Black people.
We're a community gathering itself together, a spiraling movement, a rippling force. We can be a circle of unity to envision the community we want to see, to declare our power together.
This African American Leadership Forum was once an idea that now has become a reality, not only here in the Twin Cities, but in Portland and in Seattle, and we're now working in Des Moines, Iowa, to bring African American people together to talk about our agenda. What is our agenda in the 21st century? We will be here. We will be working for the long haul.
Now, this is about transformation. When you change the game, you don't just play the game, you change the game. There's a saying that a leader makes the invisible visible. The leader gives a voice to the voiceless. They name things, they make them accessible to people, and by doing that, they actually impact movement and power. So part of it is being able to talk about things, be able to name things, and then be able to organize it within institutions and structures.
The process is driven by committee work that focuses time and effort on measurable community change.
So we try to position this committee as a learning committee and to focus a significant portion of each of our meetings, learning. Just learning about local best practices.
We need Black successful people to come into the schools and to mentor people and let them know you struggling at home, but you also got me to help you. You struggling outside of school, you can call me, you can email me, we can have go to lunch, go to brunch, do something. That'll make a that'll close the gap, because they'll know that there's somebody there behind them, pushing them, letting them know you can do it, you can get through it.
The breakout that we just did was with the education sub-working group within this African American Leadership Forum, because we have programs that are driving outcomes for our youth. What we need to do is drive awareness of what's working and advocate for continuing to spread what they're doing to other places.
We've got to do some healing. African proverb that says, "He who conceals the disease cannot expect to be cured." And all this powerful work we're doing some concealing of the disease. We can't heal until we address some of those things.
I think that the arts are an important cultural
Yes.
aspect. This is how we get to spirituality.
I see the need for us to be better listeners that help us understand what kinds of things that we can do to eliminate health disparities.
Having a legislative agenda that potentially could develop some policy that turns into legislation, at least that we can at least float and talk about and have a really public conversation, I think is important, but often it doesn't come from within the African American community. It comes from kind of around the African American community.
And I'm so glad we have this meeting, because now Jeff knows what to say, and he needs to talk to you to get some more information, because what's happening is no one ever talks to us who does the work, who's on front line.
But I think the idea that both of you are saying about us having a position on certain issues that affect families is critical. So.
What came out of today in the work groups, one, you actually had people coming together around a common idea and around a pillar that they wanted to focus on. And from the reports out, not only were they talking about planning ahead as it related to an agenda moving forward, but really capturing low-hanging fruit now to make a difference.
Now, as I've listened over these 2 years, and I've listened today, and there are 3 themes to this civic engagement model we've been trying to develop. And those 3 themes are that what are the pillars of what we're trying to do, what are the action steps, and what is the leadership model. Now, if you close your eyes in this meeting, or you close your eyes and you go to Portland or Seattle, and you say, what are the challenges facing the African American community, the same pillars emerge. Education comes out of people's mouth, health care, jobs, lifelong training, employment, housing. We know what the issues are. The question now is, can we take these pillars and rather than arguing about what's the most important, what's the least important, who will get left out, can we put them into some sort of holistic visual model? Because they all relate together. Now we've talked about the action steps. What are we going to do? What's going to be the political pieces and the public policy pieces? These are very important both over the short term and over the long term.
To gather leadership across sectors, not just the education community or the corporate community or nonprofit or government, but to get us all together and to say, what can we do to improve outcomes in our community? What can we do to close the achievement gap with our youth? What can we do to better support families that are struggling in this economy? What can we do to drive economic development? And it's grown. I mean, it started quite small, sort of group in a living room, and today we had over 150 people here. So it's a pretty exciting effort, and it's a phenomenal group of very, very talented people that are, pulling to the same task.
I am extremely impressed. I knew nothing about the Black community here in Minneapolis, and so it was absolutely wonderful to walk into the room this morning and see so many faces and look through the list of folks who are on this committee and think, oh my gosh, wow. And so I think that we have a great path to follow.
The comprehensive agenda emerging from the African American Leadership Forum is a product of the community, defined and outlined by its leaders. Goals of the project include taking ownership of community-driven efforts, leveraging the experience, credibility, and influence of leaders, and creating opportunities for new partnerships and collaborations. The actions that emerge from this process will reflect efforts that revitalize, create, and strengthen opportunities to significantly shape the quality of life and the future of the African American community.
The issues that we have in our community, the solutions are not outside of the community, and that we really need to mobilize our strength in all facets of our communities. And so this is the beginning, I believe, of a different and a new way of addressing some of the concerns within the community that have been plaguing us for so long.